What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Pros Only TV. You're here with myself, Roland. Now, before we begin, I need everybody to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this video with a friend when you're done. Now, let's get into it. Summer transfer window has opened, and you know how it is, man. It's silly season. There's so many transfer rumors swirling around and around, all over social media, all in the newspapers, all in the media, and it's just hard to keep up and follow everything. For me, I'm not going to be doing videos just like chasing daily all the updates on the transfers. I'm just going to do one video right now to break everything down in terms of who I think United are going to sign, what's actually going to happen in the transfer window, and just kind of go through all the background knowledge of some of the players that I feel like we should be targeting in the positions that we really need in the team. So I mean, just so that we can get started and get into it, who are our current targets, man? So currently we're looking at Jadon Sancho, Declan Rice, Pau Torres, Kieran Trippier, Rafael Varane, Ruben Neves. There's plenty more names that have been said in the media and linked with United, but those are the main targets that I've seen like constantly in the media. Now, in terms of the current positions that United are looking at, they're currently looking at right back, which I'm not too sure about because obviously we've got Wan-Bissaka as the first choice. We've got two right backs on loan, Dalot and Ethan Laird. And then they're currently targeting Kieran Trippier according to the reports in the press. So I'm not too sure about that. They're looking at right wing. Obviously, we know the main target is Jadon Sancho, and more on him later. And then centre back, where there's been links to Pau Torres from Villarreal, and there's also been links to Rafael Varane at Real Madrid. So there's that there. But in terms of what positions I think that United should actually target, I think it's right wing, obviously. The premier target is Jadon Sancho. Defensive midfield or deep line playmaker position, someone that can sit deep and start playing the ball from deep and start our attacks. And then obviously centre back, we need an upgrade in that area because we don't have many good options there apart from Maguire. So I mean, yeah. But in terms of the main targets for me, I think that the three that we should be targeting are Sancho, Ruben Neves, and Rafael Varane. They're the three targets that I think you go for. And yeah, let's just get into it, man. So starting off with Sancho, man, I'm trying to see Sancho at OT doing this.
Look at this little fake. Gets a little ankle breaker there on Finn Bartels.
Really putting the crisscross moves on them, man, and really like rising it up in OT, man. That's what I want to see, man, from Sancho. So, I mean, Sancho's 21 years old. So obviously him being young, it means that we can have him for a very long time, and we're having him right now where he's really showing his ability across in the Bundesliga, and he's letting his name ring across the world, and you're gonna have him as he's approaching his peak and in his peak as well. So that's just something that you just would love to have in your team. And then in regards to the price of it is gonna be £77 million is what's been touted in the press, plus some add-ons as well. Now, going on to his wages that's been on offer now, I'm not too sure exactly what the figure has been quoted. Let me just have a look because it's a bit mad. Let me just see what this is because I saw some real like staggering reports. Yeah, they're saying that how he's gonna be how much is he gonna earn? It said he's gonna earn about 250,000 a week. Now, that is a high number for a 21-year-old that's just coming into the side. For me, I think that look at our current wage structure. You've got De Gea, who's the highest earner, and he arguably doesn't even want to play for the club anymore. He hasn't probably wanted to play for the club since 2016. You've got Pogba, who is a high earner in the team at the moment, but he's also going into the last year of his contract. And so what do you do? Like, are you going to offer him a new deal, or are you going to just let him run down his contract? There's that situation as well that we can unpack in another video. But, bringing in somebody who's only 21 years old, despite the fact that he's probably top 3 in his position in the world, in terms of his age group, that you're going to bring him in on 250,000 a week. He's already going above Marcus Rashford, and there's going to be a lot of other pros in the team who think, especially like someone like Bruno Fernandes, who's done a lot of good stuff for the team. He's probably outperformed everybody in the team over the last 2 seasons, and he's not even going to get the similar wage to Sancho. It's a bit sticky, and I want people to kind of remember, what happened at Man City in the early years when they were building up the thing that they're running right now, where in order to attract certain players to their side, they had to bring in, they had to offer like really large wages. And then you get the situations where when you want to try and move these players on, which we've been seeing at United over the last few seasons, you want to move players on, but their wages are so high, no other club wants to come in and take them. And, you just mess up the whole wage structure. And I thought that we kind of got rid of that whole like weird wage structure when we got rid of Sanchez. But it looks as if we're playing around with it again. And it's a bit funny. But, in terms of like what I think he's going to bring to the team, I mean, he offers something different in attack. I mean, we currently have a lot of pace merchants in our side. Only Martial and maybe Cavani have a different dimension. And if you bring in Sancho, he adds a different dimension to the attack. He's somebody who's not reliant on his pace. He's not pacey, but he's quick and he can get past players. Obviously, his dribbling ability is what takes precedent in terms of what he offers to the team. He can play off the left or off the right. There's no kind of like, I'm predominantly left or I'm predominantly right. He can play off of both, and he'll come in and slot in that right hand side, and it won't be any issue for him. He's gonna have the link up with Martial and Cavani, especially because I feel like they offer a different dimension in attack. You've got Martial with the link up play with him, and then you've got Cavani where he can get on the end of the crosses with his intelligent running off the ball. And then obviously, as I mentioned before, like he's a young player. So he's going to be able to grow within this team. And obviously with all the experience that he's gained since 17 being at Dortmund, him coming into this side at this point in his career, another perfect step up. And now he can really show what he can do in the Premier League after leaving Man City when he was a youngster. So, there's that. In terms of like some of the attributes he has, like obviously he's great. He's great with his short passes, like little link up play with the attackers at Dortmund we've seen. In terms of some of his through balls as well, like he's shown he can play that final pass into the attackers in terms of trying to get goals. Obviously, that he's got great ability with the dribbling, and I feel like he can become an elite level dribbler when he comes to United and be able to showcase that a little bit more. He's obviously going to use that dribbling ability for us to help break those low blocks sometimes that we most of the time that we see at Old Trafford, especially when we're facing sides. So that's going to be very key for us as well. Obviously, finishing ability, we've seen him score 74 goals across his time at Dortmund. So I mean, obviously he's going to contribute more goals to this team. Obviously holding on to the ball, he doesn't lose the ball too much, and that's going to obviously mean that he's going to draw a lot more fouls, and then obviously we're going to have more set piece chances that we can actually get some goals from, hopefully next season. So and then obviously crossing the ball, I mean, we've got a target man in Cavani there. I mean, he's not a traditional target man, but he's somebody that gets his head on the ball, and so having somebody like Sancho to cross that ball from the right hand side into Cavani is obviously a plus as well for the team. And then as I mentioned before, 181 games, 74 goals and 75 assists for Sancho in his time at Dortmund, and it's such a great record, basically, and that's what we need to bring him into the side. And I feel like he's the number one target, the main target. We're putting all our eggs in the basket for Sancho. Hopefully United don't mess it up. It looks like the ball's already been rolling, obviously with the Euros in the way. Currently it's gonna be a bit delayed, and I feel like after the Euros, before they start preseason training at Dortmund, he should be secured. So let's just see, and it depends on how far England go in the tournament anyway, but we'll see what happens. Now, moving on to our next target. Ruben Neves is the player that I feel like we should target for the defensive midfield deep line playmaker role. 24 years old. He's obviously still very young. He's Premier League proven, man. Like, he's been in the Premier League for the last 3 seasons with Wolves. He's been in this country since 18 years old. So, and if I'm touching on a bit of his mentality, he's got a bit of an elite mentality. He comes to Wolves in the Championship at 18 years old from Porto, most expensive signing in the Championship at that time. When you look at that, you're saying to yourself, imagine, you being 18 years old, being taken from your homeland basically to a foreign place where you probably know the language at the time, but it's just a completely different type of football, and it's very fast paced and energetic as when you compare it to the Portuguese league. And he came up with being an integral part of that Wolves team that come up in the Championship, and then he's proven himself in the Premier League to be an effective defensive midfielder or box to box, because he's pretty versatile as well. and then made a step up for Wolves as well, as they made it into Europe and showcased his talents in Europe in the Europa League. So bringing now at this point where I feel like Wolves have stalled. They've got rid of their manager and Nuno. Certain members in that team have also stalled. You've seen it with Adama Traore. You've seen it with certain other players, Willy Bolly and players like that. So Ruben Neves is part of that group, and I feel like it's time for a fresh challenge for him to step up and try and make it into the next round of the next level that he needs to get to in terms of becoming a better player. And obviously, he's got a lot of good long range goals, and we want to be. I'd like to see some more of this stuff at Old Trafford next season. I'll never decide. But yeah, so in terms of what he brings to the team now, he's obviously versatile. He's a box to box. He can play box to box. He can play deep. He can play as just a normal central midfielder that can get forward and get back. So having that versatility is good. And I like multifunctional players. I like players that can play in 2 or more positions. Let's say, for example, because having that ability to move around in the team also helps the team in terms of rotating. You may have a particular game plan for a particular team that you're facing, and a player can do a particular job for you. And if they're versatile enough, they can shift. So I mean, that's also a good thing as well. I mean, in terms of what he brings to the team, obviously there's through balls. He can play through balls from deep. He's very precise. His concentration, playing in that deep line playmaker role, shielding the back four, shielding those central defenders is always your concentration needs to be up there in terms of that. So having that high level of concentration, we've seen him do it time and time again in the Premier League for Wolves. For me, I think that's perfect. So, and then obviously ball interceptions, man. He intercepted 175 passes last season in the Premier League. 140 aerial duels. And that's just testament to how he's added a physical side to his game over the last 5-6 seasons he's been in England. So and then obviously 118 blocks for Wolves last season. So having that in his locker, having that Premier League proven experience, now ready to take that next step. He's a Portuguese international. I mean, it's a no-brainer, man. And obviously the price is not going to be too expensive too. And obviously if United only have about 150, 160 million to spend, you're going to spend a majority of that on Sancho. You've got to have some money left over for some of these other targets. And I feel like 35 million, 40 million for Ruben Neves, perfect signing for United at this time. So we have to wait and see on that. And then in regards to what we're going to see in the last signing that I feel like we should make, you got Rafael Varane. I mean, Real Madrid centre half, 28 years old. I mean, comes to United, if he does come to United, with an elite mentality. He's played for Real Madrid since he's 18 years old. He's been there 10 years. He's a World Cup winner, multiple Champions League winner, a La Liga winner, probably a Copa del Rey winner as well. He's played at the high level for several years in his career now. Some wonderful performances in La Liga, in the Champions League, in the World Cup, at the Euros too. And then, he's in his prime now, 28 years old, as I mentioned before. So, having him in the side now kind of elevates our defence to another level. And obviously that defence that we have right now, I mean, apart from Maguire, who's like the ever-present, you've got Lindelof, who, as much as he's been a good level performer and he offers something to the team, he's just too weak in the tackle. And he's got certain other deficiencies that I feel like, he's going to be struggling with. If he's part of our defence, and then obviously you've got Tuanzebe, who hasn't really kicked on since coming back from his loan at Aston Villa, and you've got Eric Bailly, who's too injury prone. Even though I love Bailly, but he's just too injury prone, and I don't think we can rely on him. Even though we've given him a 4-year deal, I don't understand. And then you've got Phil Jones there as well, who's not played for the team in 2 years or something like that. So it's a bit crazy for me, and I feel like having someone like Varane as a target, who seemingly is available. Obviously, he's been offered a new deal. I don't know if he's going to sign it. He may want a new challenge. Obviously, Real Madrid are going to be going for a rebuild. And obviously, you got Sergio Ramos, who's like 35, 36. It's going to be, something pretty interesting. So, for me, I feel like that's the target that we should be getting. And, in terms of what he offers to the team, obviously, his passing is elite level. He rarely misplaces a pass. You know, he's fairly quick for a centre half, and that's what we're going to need in terms of the partnership with Maguire. We need somebody very quick next to him, somebody who's got good recovery pace, and you know, very intelligent in terms of his positioning. So that, you know, you don't have to rely on that recovery pace. You know, he's very good in terms of interception. So I mean, he made 19 blocks, and obviously it might not seem a lot, but Real Madrid really dominate games with possession in terms of La Liga. And so 19 blocks isn't a lot, and this means that they didn't really have to do much anyway. But he made 161 intercepted passes last season for Real Madrid, and that's a lot. And so that is testament to his positioning, being intelligent in terms of where the ball is going to be before, and so he anticipates ahead of time. And yeah, like, I mean, he speaks for himself. His CV speaks for himself. You know, French international, World Cup winner, multiple Champions League winner. You need that elite level mentality at the club at this moment in time. You know, coming off the back of, you know, an average season, to be honest, as a United supporter. You know, bringing these 3 signings is going to elevate the team to another level. We don't want to see United just bring in Sancho and then bringing in some kind of like second or third choice targets. And, you know, for me, I'm not really trying to bring in no second or third choice targets. I want to bring in some of the elite level people into our side, because we need to go up that next level next season, because we need to be able to try and compete with City and try and compete in the Champions League, especially after going out in the group stage like we did last season. So, you know, that's pretty much where I'm going to end it right now. I mean, the Euros is on, and I hope everybody's enjoying that. I hope everybody's enjoying the sunny weather outside. I'm not going to be doing too much Euros content on the channel. I'm going to leave that to everybody else. I'm just going to kick back like a supporter and just watch great football this summer. In terms of what's coming on the channel next, I mean, there's going to be a lot more NBA content. I've been trying to get onto this, man. It's been a bit difficult, but I'm going to be getting onto the NBA content, bringing some reactions to you very soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend when you're done as well. But this is me, Roland, Pros Only TV. Follow the socials coming up next. Peace.